Hey, I'm Allison, and this is Realistically Consistent, where we talk about how to build sustainable fitness, nutrition, and mindset habits that actually last even as a busy mom. I'm here to help get you consistent, not perfect, and on your way to feeling like your best self. I'm so excited to start today's episode with you. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Realistically Consistent. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am really excited about today's topic. Before we dive in to that, though, I just want to take a moment and ask if you have been listening to this podcast or show consistently a few times and this message is really resonating with you, if you would please take a moment to leave a rating, leave a review, share it with a friend. It really helps this podcast get more reach and find moms who need to hear these messages as well. So I appreciate you always. And let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, which is all about how when not following the plan is actually following the plan. This whole topic is really inspired because I can't tell you how many clients have come to me. Pretty much every single client that I've had has come to me and said, well, I didn't follow the plan perfectly, but I was still able to see progress. And that's the whole point. Is that even though every single one of these clients has come to me and said, I didn't really follow the plan perfectly. I missed a few workouts here. I overindulged there. Whatever, mishap that they feel like they made, despite all of those things, they were still able to see and feel progress. And so that's where this whole episode is really inspired today, is the fact that when you are a mom, but really, let's be honest, just a human, you're not going to follow any plan perfectly. That is why I've seen even a few posts on Instagram lately since the beginning of the year about doing the 75 hard or whatever crazy challenge. And I am just so against that. I mean, listen, if it works for you and you love it, great. More power to you. I think that's amazing. You have to do what works for you. But to me, things like the 75 hard challenge are just so beyond unrealistic because those challenges give you a list of things to do a mile long compared to what you've been doing, number one. And number two, expect for you to follow them perfectly. And when you are a busy mom, that's just not realistic. Things are going to come up. Life is going to throw you curveball after curveball after curveball. And what's going to happen is you committed yourself to this challenge. And when life comes up and something happens and you fall off of even just one thing in one day, you feel like you're a failure. And that's just not the case. If you listen to my last episode last week, we talk all about how sometimes it's so easy for us to feel like we are failing when the fact of the matter is we're just not, right? But that feeling of failure is exactly what is holding you back from staying consistent and showing up and doing the things that you're already doing really great at. So my message to you today is going to be kind of in two parts. Number one, I really want you to take a look at what you're doing and celebrate those things. So when my clients come to me and say, well, I fell off track and I just feel like I need to get back on, we always take a step back and take a second to say, like, first of all, are you still seeing progress? And remember, the scale is not the only judge of progress. Are you still feeling more energized? Are you still feeling less bloated? Are you still feeling like you have a brighter mood? Are you still feeling like you're drinking more water, getting more movement, all of those things? And if it's a yes, then truly celebrate the heck out of yourself because you are seeing progress. That is progress and that is something to celebrate. And also just remember the seeing the progress thing, that's a never ending game here. We're never just getting to an end point, right? Because even if you do reach an end goal that you had, you still have to maintain it, right? You still have to show up and make healthy choices to maintain that end goal. So remember that this is a never ending journey. This is a lifetime journey. That's why we call them lifestyle changes, right? Because we're trying to change the entire lifestyle. Now, the other piece to that is that we are trying to change a lifestyle. Like that's a big deal. And if you're trying to make those lifestyle changes, odds are you didn't change the other way overnight, right? It took you years and years and years of, I don't even want to say bad habits because maybe they're not bad. They're just not ones that you'd like to have. But those habits that you don't want to have, it took you years to develop them and get into the space that you are now, right? You've programmed your body and your mind that this is our normal over years and years and years. And so it's going to take longer than a few days, a few weeks, even a few months to completely change your lifestyle. And so I want to be this reminder to you today to just truly give yourself some grace and give yourself some patience, because you didn't get there overnight and you're not going to get into a lifestyle change overnight. Even if you do the 75 hard, 75 days is not necessarily enough time to completely create a lifestyle change that's going to stick. It's just not realistic. And I am all about realism. And I just want to be completely honest and transparent with you and say, I've been doing this for years. I have been creating a lifestyle change since I had my son 4 years ago. Okay. And I still have days and weeks where I will slip up and it will not go well. And I'll feel it. I will feel it in my body. And I have to make a very conscious decision to say, gosh, I really don't like the way that things are heading. We need to change things around. And even when I say, let's change things around, it's not a flip of a switch overnight. We go back. I still miss different habits that, I've committed to. I still don't hit the step goal that I want to. I don't hit the water goal that I want to, whatever it may be. But what I think is so important is that I celebrate the things that I did do. So maybe I missed journaling in the morning, but I drank all 32 ounces of my water before my day started. That's a win. Maybe I didn't get the workout in, but I decided to hop on the walking pad for 10 minutes while I had a little extra time in the morning. And that's a win. So I want you to sit and truly reflect with yourself. If you've been on a journey since the beginning of the year, and we're only on day 13 at the time of this recording, if you've been on a journey to change your lifestyle, to incorporate some new habits into your routine, and you've been feeling disappointed in yourself, or maybe you're still feeling disappointed that the holidays didn't go as well as you wanted to, whatever it may be, I want you to really sit back and reflect on the things that you have done, that you have shown up for yourself for, even if they're small. Because we want to give your brain evidence that you are doing things for yourself. You are showing up for yourself, even if they're in small ways, because let that be a reminder of how much you truly are capable of, so that you can keep building on those things. And remind yourself, you are going to fall off. It's not going to look perfect, but it's not I'll start over on Monday, I'll start over tomorrow type of mindset that we want to be in. We want to just be in, okay, so this morning didn't go great. What can I do to make sure that this evening goes better for me? And to kind of tie this all into the overarching theme of today's podcast, every single time that you do that, you are following a plan. You are following the most beautiful plan that you can follow as a mom, because the fact of the matter is, we have to be so flexible. We have to be so adaptive. We have to be able to roll with the punches and make shifts and changes. So even if you want to get your workouts in first thing in the morning, but the bus came early, or your kid missed the bus, or somebody's sick or whatever, and you don't get your workout in, you have to be able to say, you know what? Okay, didn't get my workout in this morning, but I can actually squeeze it in at lunch. Or maybe I didn't get to do it at lunch, but you know what? Just for today, I'll get it in after the kids go to bed. I don't love doing that, but it's one day, right? It's being able to be adaptable. That is a plan. And it's constantly having this backup plan for your backup plan in the back of your mind and going with that. Because here's the thing, there's going to be plenty of health coaches out there. Maybe you already see this on Instagram of coaches coming at you saying, here, follow this perfect morning routine, or this is how I do all of my meals and I hit all of my protein and whatever it might be, right? And there's some really, truly amazing, influencers or coaches, personal trainers that I even follow out there and I take inspiration from. And honestly, I'm being really honest, I also compare myself to them. And sometimes I'll find myself thinking, gosh, why can't I figure out how to make meals like that in a day? Why can't I figure out how to wake up even earlier than I already do? And again, full transparency here. I still have those thoughts to this day, but I have to really quickly reel this back in and think, okay, but they're not living my life, right? nobody is living the life that you are living. Maybe you are like me and you're still waking up several times a night with a baby. I I'm not waking up at 5:30 in the morning every day like I used to. But that doesn't mean I'm letting it be my excuse for not showing up for myself. We're figuring out how to show up for ourselves in another way. So, while there are tons of coaches out there that want to preach to you, do this, you should be doing this, stop making excuses, but nobody knows what it feels like to be you but you. So, you're the only one who can sit down and make these choices. Now, having a coach can be incredibly beneficial, right? That's why I do offer a one-on-one program. I offer a group program because it does help to, one, have a community of other women who are going through very similar stages of life as you, and two, have a coach who has dedicated her life to figuring out how to roll with those punches, be flexible, figure out how to still show up for myself in this season where I'm up several times a night. I've got 3 kids, they've got sports, I've got business things that I need to do and run. My husband's home late because he's working in the office and whatever it may be, and still make that possible for me. And then also because I'm constantly in this creative mindset and working with several other women who are in similar stages of life, but also have very different needs and circumstances, I'm always figuring out how to make it work for them, right? Because sometimes when you're so close to the inside, it's difficult to see like the opportunities that you could be missing. So I'm sitting down with a client later this month who has dietary restrictions and her kids have allergies and she has to make modifications to her workouts due to different injuries and different schedule changes. And she also has a baby waking her up. So we're going to figure out how to prioritize her. Because here's the thing, everything is figure out. But what people often overlook is that sometimes it just takes a little bit of trial and error. And that's the piece that we don't want to be really real with ourselves about, is that, well, I tried this and it didn't work, so it just must not be in the cards for me. That's not true. You tried something, it didn't work, so you rule that out and you move on and keep going until you find the thing that does work for you. Because there is something out there that works for you. You just have to keep pushing and being willing to try new things until it does. Because let's be honest, that time is going to pass anyways, right? So you might as well keep trying new things rather than the time passing and you just giving up completely. And I get that it's scary. I get it's scary to try something else and put energy and time and feelings and emotion into something that you're really hopeful is going to work, only to find out that it doesn't work for you. And I get that, fully get that. It feels really disappointing. And it's easy to feel like a failure in those moments. But you didn't fail. Like I said in the last episode, all of that is simply feedback. And it's something that you should be so proud of yourself for continuing to show up and continuing to try new things until you find that thing that sticks. Now, again, in all of that, kind of like babies, you're going to find that thing that sticks and it's going to go really well for a little while. And then you're going to enter a new season of your life. I feel like I experience this with babies all the time. We finally get in a good flow. We're in a good nap routine. We're in a good sleep routine. And then we hit another milestone and we need to adjust naps and we need to adjust feeding schedule and whatever it might be. And that's going to happen too. But I think what's so important is when you establish that base, you establish that, okay, I really know that this works for me. All I need to do is tweak and adjust small things, right? It doesn't mean another complete lifestyle upheaval. It means just shifting and tweaking a few small things like you might with a baby's nap schedule. We always just want to start with making a few small changes because you never know what that small little thing is that you start doing that makes all the difference in the world. And know that that is so common for so many of my clients that all we did was just change one or two really small things. And it was the catalyst for big, big change. So don't overlook those small things. Like I talk about in so many of my episodes, you can go back to episodes 2 and 3 and probably a couple others that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, where I talk about those small habits to incorporate first, because those are the ones that are simple. They are small. Yes, they take intention. Yes, sometimes they can feel difficult, but they are small and they can be that catalyst for creating the change because they shift so much for how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, that allows you to continue showing up for yourself and then building on those habits over time. But again, I can't stress to you enough to start adapting to the mindset of just being flexible and rolling with the punches and remembering that lifestyle changes don't come in one big decision that you make. Lifestyle changes take place in the millions of little micro decisions that you make a day. When something comes up to throw you off your plan and you pivot and you show up in a different way. So maybe you didn't get to have that breakfast that you wanted to in the morning. And instead of pulling through a drive-through and getting a mixed sandwich, you got a protein shake from Jamba Juice or whatever, because that was just a slightly better decision. Maybe you only got 2 workouts in this week when you really wanted to get to 3. And instead of feeling disappointed in yourself for not getting to all of them, you feel proud of yourself for getting to 2 and make a plan for how you're going to make sure 3 happen next week. Making those little pivots, making those small little decisions, that is perfection in my eyes. That is you following a plan without following a plan. That is you deciding to show up for yourself. So even if you overindulged at dinner or over the holidays or over the weekend and you thought to yourself, gosh, I don't know why I did that. Instead of starving yourself the next day or feeling like you had to go for an hour-long run and torturing your body with a workout, instead of doing those things, you decided, you know what, I'm just going to make better choices and I'm going to have a nice breakfast the next morning and go for an extra walk. That is a win. So remember, there's so many things that you can do. You don't need some perfect plan. You need to just keep showing up for yourself in any small way that you can. That's following a plan in motherhood. And so the last piece I really want to talk about is just, I do want you to give yourself some grace. And I do want you to acknowledge all the things that you are doing because you are doing an incredible job. We are balancing and juggling so much, but we have to be included in that because you probably hear it all the time, but we can't pour from an empty cup. How can you expect to take care of others if you can't really take care of yourself? We push and we give and we give and we give, and then there's nothing left for us. So when we're depleted, we're giving out that depleted energy. So yeah, you're giving and we're going to keep pouring into our kids. We're going to keep doing all these things, but are you really giving all that you can, all that you have when you don't have a lot left in your tank? No. So I know that you want more for yourself because you've gotten to this point in the episode, and just know that you do deserve that for yourself. You deserve it for yourself because you deserve to feel good. This is your life too, right? We only get one of them. And yes, we love our kids and we want to give them an amazing childhood, but this is your life too, and you deserve to enjoy your motherhood. So take care of yourself so that you can pour into yourself and pour more into them and actually enjoy doing it. And while I said, I do want you to give yourself grace, I want you to stop giving yourself excuses. This, I'm too busy, I'll wait for another season of my life, whatever it might be. There just genuinely is no excuse when taking care of yourself can simply just look like drinking more water or standing at work instead of sitting. There is simply no excuse. And I say all this coming from a place of running my own business, having my baby home with me almost full time, having 2 other kids that are 6 and 4 and are in sports of their own that need to go on the weeknights and the weekends, having all kinds of different events, having a husband who works full time. I don't hire help at this time. I'd love to get myself to the point where I can so that I just feel a little less overwhelmed by the mess and things like that. But right now, I'm not someone that does that. I've learned how to manage my mindset and let a lot of things go so that it's not affecting me. But that's a story for another day. I visit with my family once, twice, sometimes more a week. So I don't want to hear the I'm busy excuse. Everybody's got stuff going on. It all just comes down to, is this a priority? Because if something is a real priority in your life, you will make time for it. Our kids are our priorities in our lives, and we make time for them. Anything that they come at us with saying they want to do, we'll make it happen, right? It has to be the same for you. You have to make it happen for you because you don't want to wake up one day thinking, oh my gosh, my body aches so bad. I'm only 45 years old. I wish I would have taken care of myself, because then it's too late. Now, if you're 45 and you're thinking that, we wish that we would have done things in the past, but it's not too late in that you can always, always, always start now, right? But if you're hearing this message in your late 20s, 30s, whatever, don't get yourself to that point, because I guarantee you'll run into anybody that says, I really wish I would have made that time. Make that time for yourself. And all of that really just circles back around to having that strong why. Maybe your why is, I don't want to be in my 40s with health concerns. I want to be that grandma who's chasing my grandkids around. I want to be the mom right now who's able to get on and off the floor with my kids and play with them. I want to have energy to say yes to the things that they want to do without thinking, oh my gosh, I wish that I had more energy for this. Find a why that goes beyond the physique, like we've talked about before. Because yes, every right to want to feel confident and sexy and good in your clothes. That's a good goal. I don't knock it, because those are part of my goals too. But I also have a much, much deeper why. And it goes from my mental health and wanting to show up with more patience and peace around my kids and really enjoy this motherhood that I have with them. Because I only get one of their childhoods too. And I don't want to spend it feeling drained and impatient. Find a really strong why for yourself and hold on to that and let that drive your priority to take care of yourself. And if you're looking for more support, you're looking for a community of women who are going through the same thing and just want to lean on each other and have that support, then please visit my page, AllisonHaleyFitness.com. Complete an application if you want to be a part of that community. Get a more personalized workout plan that meets your needs with where you're at right now. We talk through nutrition, we talk through the workouts, and more importantly, we talk through the mindset so that you can just continue showing up for yourself. Thank you again so much for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to Realistically Consistent. If today's episode helped you, please hit subscribe and leave a quick rating, as it helps more moms find the show. You can visit AllisonHaleyFitness.com for more tools, tips, and ways to stay connected. And just as a quick reminder, I'm here to share general information and encouragement, but this podcast isn't meant to replace professional medical or health advice. Everyone's circumstances are different, so be sure to check in with your trusted healthcare provider before making any big changes. Thanks again for being here, and until next time, keep showing up for yourself one realistic step at a time.